नमस्कार, जय जिनेन्द्र, जय श्री कृष्ण, जय भारत, जय हिंद। यह दोस्तों दिवालिया एक व्यक्तित्व वीकली प्रोग्राम में आपका हार्दिक स्वागत है। मैं आपका हार्दिक स्वागत करते हुए बहुत खुशी के साथ कह रहा हूँ कि ये वीकली प्रोग्राम के साथ आज हमारा एक एडिशनल प्रोग्राम है, जिसमें बहुत ही हमारे भावना से भरे हुए एक मेहमान हमारे बीच आने वाले, उनकी अवेलेबिलिटी के हिसाब से स्पेशल फीचर प्रोग्राम हमने आपकी सेवा में हाजिर किया है। इस प्रोग्राम में आप हर सप्ताह वैसे तो देखते हैं एक नया टॉपिक लेकर हम हाजिर होते हैं, जिसमें धार्मिक, सभ्याचारक, सामाजिक, हेल्थ टॉपिक्स या फिर ऑनगोइंग इश्यूज। और आज का सब्जेक्ट ऑनगोइंग इश्यूज पर ही आधारित है और हम हर उस डिग्निटरी के विचारों को महत्वता देते हैं जो अपना कीमती समय निकालकर हमारे इस प्रोग्राम में आप सबके साथ रूबरू होते हैं। हम उनके बहुत आभारी हैं और आपके भी बहुत आभारी हैं कि आप दिल खोलकर अपना समय जो है हमारे साथ बिताते हैं। आज जो हमारे संयोजक हमेशा की तरह वो मंजरी, निधि, गुल और हमारे जो आयोजक है व्यंजना, आनंद, मिथ्या, जिनकी सोच से ये प्रोग्राम की रूपरेखा निष्काम भावना से पूर्ण होती है, वो भी हमारे साथ ऑल द वे थ्रू रहेंगे। अगर आपने फर्स्ट टाइम ज्वाइन किया है तो कृपया नीचे लिखे हुए रेड जो बटन है उसको प्रेस कर दीजिए, ताकि आप सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए, ताकि आप हमारे मेंबर बन जाए और हफ्तावार प्रोग्राम में आपको सूचना मिलती रहे। और हाँ, नाउ लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड। जस्ट फॉर योर इंफॉर्मेशन, if you know anyone who is doing something good for the society or divine genius, whose art should be known among the society, we bring such a talented personality among you in our interviews. This is our promise. If you know such a personality, please do contact us. Divalia will welcome you all the way through. Today's our special guest for today's talk show is Jaya Rao ji, one of the world's most influential speaker on Indian philosophy called Vedanta. She is well-loved spiritual leader whose exposition on Vedanta touch the mind and uplift the intellect. Now, Jaya Rao ji, आपका हार्दिक, we welcome you on this program on Diwaliya. First of all, Didi, how to greet you? Jai Shri Krishna or Jai Bharat, Jai Hind, Vande
Anything.
Mataram, anything. Wow,
Thank you.
welcome. After meeting you, I'm meeting you on Zoom after I think nearly 5 years, when you were in Leicester. So
Yes.
I joined your sessions at Gita Bhavan. So from there onwards, I always wanted to join in. Then we had some of your CDs with us from America, from California, and I brought them along with me. So
Oh,
that was, yeah, that was completely, soulful collection. So if you are easy to talk in between Hindi and English mix, so that will be okay. So if you feel, whichever way you feel comfortable.
okay. Thank you. I'll try, but I am accustomed to speaking in English, so I'll try.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Now, yeah, ji, there is a big ocean of our, questions where always we are curious. We like to know something and everything within no time. This is human nature. But I will go through some simple ongoing issues, our lifestyle topics today. So that how do we, fix our, this, I would say, naughty mind uh, to get along with our life in this society. So how relevant, first of all, the your base is Vedanta, as I gather Bhagavad Gita. So how relevant are the teaching of Bhagavad Gita in this corporate world? The world is very materialistic, and people are always feel that what is there for me. So now
Yes.
how?
Um, the corporate world is about success. And
Yeah,
in order to achieve success, one needs to be clear in one's thinking. So it's clarity of thinking that gives that creativity and the brilliance to executives to think of new ways of making profit or new ways of coming up with new products and services so that they grow, the organization grows. Now, in order to do this, the fundamental requirement is to have a calm mind. जब मन शांत होता है तब
yeah.
हमारी सोच तीव्र हो जाती है, हम क्रिएटिव बन जाते हैं, and we are able to perform actions perfectly. So nowhere else in the world are we taught how to make our minds calm. All of us all over the world have various disturbed minds, various levels of disturbance of mind. तो वेदांता और भगवत गीता एक टेक्स्ट है, एक one science that enables us to calm the mind. And when the mind is calm, the intellect is sharp, actions brilliant, you become successful. The Bhagavad Gita also gives the formula for success. Successful, आपको सफल होना हो तो हमारे अंदर क्या क्वालिटीज डेवलप करनी है और ये कैसे हमको, not only it gives us external success but gives us internal happiness and enables us to grow to our potential. So none of this is given in any MBA school, in any business school in the world. So we have
Yeah.
a unique knowledge that will help corporate organizations.
Now, just wondering, as you mentioned about calmness of mind, and it's not easy without, guidance, or without having a true guru, or learning from some kind of a scripts, with the support of somebody who is really, uh, trained in this or experimented this thing, that okay, I've been through the big, ups and downs in life, but now it's better for me to calm down. I learned my hard way. Now I can preach the people. But principally, how uh, one itself can calm the mind down, how
Yes.
it's possible?
See, first of all, the Bhagavad Gita is written in Sanskrit, a language that people don't normally understand or have learned. And even if you get someone who can translate the text, the context is different because it's an ancient text 5,000 years ago. So some of us have done research on the subject, have experimented with it, have applied it in our lives, and have found it to be useful. So when we present it, the audience, the person who's listening, does not have to go through the entire research all over again. They get it in applicable bites, which are easy to relate to, easy to apply immediately, and easy to benefit from. So I'm going to be in the UK, London, Leicester, and Birmingham from the 2nd of June till the 19th. And anyone in any of these cities, the schedule is put up on our website,
Yes, I've seen it.
vedantavision.org.
Yeah.
And these lectures are all free. There is no
Yeah.
charge. And anyone is welcome to attend it. So I
Okay, now
extend
coming
my
to,
invitation to all your listeners.
thank you, thank you. Now, you just mentioned on a success in life, first you need to calm your mind. How can the principle of Gita be applied in our fields to achieve continued of success?
See, the first thing is to be able to identify your talent, your gift, that passion that each of us is born with. All of us are born with a unique gift. One is born with expertise in music, another person is born with skills in cricket or tennis or business. So we have to identify what they call as swadharma, your own nature, and invest your energies in that field. Then you will be successful. So
Right.
Nadal, if he hadn't taken tennis, he would probably have not been such a good businessman. So on and so forth. So that is the first thing. Then what do you do with your talent? Most of us leverage it only for profit, personal profit. That leads to mediocrity. Because thought of self is the greatest barrier that stands between us and success. A few people dedicate their talent to a higher ideal. Let's say a musician dedicates his performances to promoting music. Nadal is passionate about tennis. So it's not for money that they are doing it. They're doing it because they love what they're doing and they are dedicating themselves to their fields. Then you become successful. But one rare person understands that the talent is not his, it's a God-given gift. And every time he acts in an attitude of thanksgiving towards that power that has given it to him. For instance, for example, Eric Liddell, who was called the Flying Scotsman, who won the Olympic gold in athletics many years ago. He used to say, God made me to run and I will run for God. He had no coach. He didn't have the money to look into his diet and fitness and things like that. He just ran and he ran for God. And he won the Olympic gold. He set a record that was so difficult to break. It was broken only many years later by an Australian. In India, Akbar, the Mughal king, had a musician in his court, Tansen. He asked Tansen one day, Tansen, you're brilliant, but I want to listen to your guru. Tansen said, my guru will not come to your court. He said, doesn't matter, we'll go to where your guru is. They went to a little village. There was a small temple where Tansen's guru, Swami Haridas, was singing, no audience. He was singing to God. So Akbar was mesmerized by the music. And when he went back, he asked Tansen, Tansen, you're great, but your guru has a distinct edge over you. What's the difference? Tansen said, very simple, Maharaj. I sing for you, he sings for God. So this is what is told to us in the Bhagavad Gita by Krishna. Work in a spirit of service and sacrifice for a higher ideal, a higher cause, something beyond your selfish, self-centered interests. Then the higher the cause, the greater is your efficiency, your dynamism, your energy, the greater will be your success. You will be a happier person and you will grow spiritually. So he puts it dramatically and says, when the Creator created the human being, he gave the human being a special gift, and that is Sahayajna. The human being was created along with Yajna, the capacity to sacrifice. And he said, with this, may you prosper. Meaning, without sacrifice, it is impossible to prosper. And all of us are trying to prosper without sacrifice. That's why we don't really succeed. Anybody who works in a spirit of service and sacrifice without thought of self achieves outstanding success. So this is the first thing. And then the next is, you should be able to direct the intellect, directs all your activities towards the goal, and does not allow you to dissipate your energies in unproductive channels. The intellect directs the mind to every action so that you concentrate 100% on the present. You're not thinking of past, you're not thinking of future. That leads to success. Now, this is stark in sport. For instance, a batsman plays brilliantly till he hits a score of 90. At 90, what happens? His attention shifts from the ball to the past. How many times I hit 90 and was unable to convert it to 100? To the future, if I don't score a century this time, I may not be included in the team. So he gets out to an easy ball. All of us are doing that. So all you have to do is concentrate on the present and clip the past, clip the future. Success will be yours.
So past is an experience and present you are going through. Future will come anyway. So you deal with it as you go along. That's a wonderful way of explaining. Very, very simple, and we all look into it, but still we like to work for our children and grandchildren and so on. And also we carry our past as well, which is the biggest pressure in our mind. But nothing we can do. We can't bring the clock back, or we can't, we can't do anything. That's wonderful. Now, Jayaji, there's a, feeling of person that let me have another go, like excel me, let me excel, let me carry on doing something, but excelling few times in your career require effort. But how can we excel more often? I mean, where's the limit of it?
Yes. When you're dedicated to an ideal, then you don't allow yourself to be distracted by anything else. For instance, when Nadal was playing at the Wimbledon once, he got an invitation to tea from the Queen of England. He thought about it and he replied to the Queen that, I am very honored by this invitation, but I have come here to play tennis. And if I come to tea, my attention will get diverted from tennis. So regrettably, I will not be able to come. Now, this is an outstanding example of focus, where he had come there to play tennis and his attention had to be 100% on tennis and not even go to the Buckingham Palace for tea. So not many of us have this focus. And therefore, Nadal is what he is. So if you want to excel every time, you have to have that focus. You have to be able to do everything that will take you to that goal and keep away from anything that takes you away from the goal.
So never stop, basically. Keep going.
Keep going. That is how Nadal has won a record number of tournaments. And he is world famous today. He's an icon. And so can all of us if we do that. Another very important thing is you must love what you're doing. It must be sacred to you. Only then you can achieve that. This kind of relentless success. So many of us work only for the weekend. So the question is, do you work for Friday evening or do you work for Monday morning? Do you wake up every morning enthusiastic, excited that you have one more day to work? Or do you wake up saying, oh God, I have to go to work? That attitude is what makes for success.
So you don't need to be slave of yourself, that I have to do it.
Yes. It's not that I love doing what I'm doing And I'm very grateful that I have one more day to work in the field of my passion.
I will do it. That's the attitude should be.
Yes.
Not I have to do it. Oh,
yes.
Wow. Wonderful. This is what we are always wondering that August 47, India got free, but we are still slave within our mind when we start using the word, we have to do this. So that's where we go wrong. This is worth looking into. If we change a word from have to that I will, that makes a lot of difference. That build your energy up, that build your, आपके हौसले बुलंद कर देता है. That gives you, better chance to do things. Now coming to the excelling, putting efforts when you achieve the target, then do we need to carry on excelling?
It is up to us. So what happens is, let's say you fix a certain goal and you achieve that goal. When you get there, your mind automatically expands and you're able to conceive of something higher than that. And that's how you go higher and higher and higher till the last goal that you fix for yourself is the state of enlightenment or God realization, because you have achieved everything in the world. Now you want that which is beyond. Like Dhruva, the little boy, he was sitting on his father's lap. The father was the king. His stepmother came and threw him out and put her own son on the king's lap because she wanted her son to be the next king. Dhruva was only a child. He didn't know what the next king and all that was. But he just felt bad. He went crying to his mother saying that this is what my stepmother did. The mother in her wisdom told him, this is the world, my son. Sometimes you get what you want, other times you don't get what you want. Joy and sorrow are part and parcel of the world. So he said, no, but I want only happiness. Where will I get it? She said, only when you get to God, you will get only happiness. Next question is, where is God? She said, inside you, within you. So off he went and was in deep meditation when the Lord Vishnu appeared before him, Sakshat, and said, son, open your eyes. You wanted me. I'm here. I'm very impressed with your sadhana. He refused to open his eyes. He said, my mother said God is inside. If you're God, come inside. So that was the last test he was put to. Now, the reason I'm saying this story is when you understand that what the world has to offer is temporary, passing, nothing in the world will last, then you want the permanent. You want something that is not subject to change. And that is the last goal of human endeavor. And when you get there, you've achieved what you have been born to achieve.
That is a spiritual angle. But on the other side, the materialistic side, am I right in saying where you're satisfied, that's where you can stop excelling?
Yes, theoretically. Lekin in real life, ye hota nahi. Because you say,
I'm going through that.
Yes. You say, I want something, you achieve that. Is that the end? No, you want more.
Yeah.
And more, and more. And this is what is greed. Now, this is a natural phenomenon because what we are looking for is not finite happiness. We are looking for infinite happiness. And we will never rest content. ये समाधान कभी नहीं होगा जब तक आप infinite happiness नहीं पाते.
Right. You need to draw a line.
Yes. No. And that infinite happiness is the spiritual goal. So in other words, in the pursuit of happiness, that will end only when you turn spiritual. Until then, you will keep wanting more and more and more.
Exactly.
That is why the richest person in the world wants more money. The most beautiful lady in the world wants more beauty. The healthiest person in the world wants more fitness. Nobody is happy in the world.
Nobody want to grow older. Nobody want to die. Nobody want to, but it's coming to die. Yeah. the way recently experiencing since pandemic happened, people have lost lot of their loved ones, and almost everyone in the world have been through this. Is there any tip we can you can give to our listeners today? How to compromise? How to accept the death? This is
See,
very
yeah.
you know. I know it's very hard. वो कहते हैं ना, जिस तन लागे वो तन जाने, जो जिसका कोई गया है उसी को पता है, बट सिद्धांत क्या कहता है अकॉर्डिंग टू भागवत? व्हाट इज इट?
See, when you look at the larger picture, then you understand and you will not get disturbed. Like Krishna tells Arjuna in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, you are mourning, you are miserable, you are grief stricken. You are mourning for those you should not mourn for. The wise don't grieve either for the living or for the dead. तो इसमें है पूरा understanding, पूरा knowledge. So when you look at life and death, death is not, okay, when we come into the world with a few desires, vasanas. They are called prarabdha vasanas. So during your lifetime, whatever you do or don't do, this bundle of vasanas will be fulfilled.
Yeah.
So your birth, your parentage, your environment, everything is perfectly designed for these prarabdha vasanas to get fulfilled. Now, once these are fulfilled, let's say 200 get fulfilled, what happens is the next bundle of vasanas start playing up. So they demand fulfillment. Let's say the next bundle is 300 desires. Now there is a mismatch between the 300 and your physical body and environment. There is no scope for those 300 to get fulfilled. So nature gives us a fresh chance to start afresh. This is called death of the previous body and birth of the next body.
Right.
So when you understand this, yes, you miss the person to the extent you are attached to the person. But you do not grieve because you know the person has gone to a better environment in his journey towards total fulfillment. So you say, yes, it's like when your child, let's say a son goes to, or daughter goes to New York to study, you miss the child. But you don't sit there and cry because you know your child has gone for his future career, for his future education, in his growth. तो ऐसे हमको समझ में आएगा तो हम ये grief से मुक्त होते हैं.
Right. But with a child going for studies, okay, it's easy to reach on the other end of the phone or talk on the webcam. But the physical emotion where the attachment comes in, that's where मोहनीय कर्म, जिसका हर धर्म में निषेध कहा गया है. So that is the one which we need to look into, how we can learn to celebrate that golden moment when person goes.
Yes.
So
you see, the problem in life is wherever you get attached, there is sorrow there, and ultimately you lose the object of attachment. Whether it is an object or a being, you might have noticed, the listeners, viewers may have noticed that, let's say you have a favorite shirt, and only on that favorite shirt you drop curry while eating, and the shirt gets spoiled. And you wonder, why is it that I don't drop curry on other shirts? Why is it I drop curry only on the shirt that I like the most? That is it. That is life. The law is attach, you suffer. Attach, you lose.
So attachment has to be controlled.
Yes.
Attachment has to be controlled.
So what is attachment? Attachment is love plus selfishness. So when they say detach, it's not that you must move away from your loved ones. What it means is you must love them, you must have pure love for them, and drop the selfishness.
Right.
Then your loved ones will adore you, they will love you in return, and your relationship will be perfect.
So whatever time you have in hand, make sure make a full of it, make a full use of it, rather than regretting that samay nahi mila. There's a
Yes.
lot of things. I think my questions will be coming up into the social attachment. Coming to this materialistic lifestyle, how important is having a good work-life balance if we are looking to find more joy in work?
See, when you find your work joyful, when you find happiness at work, you don't need to move away. There is no difference between um, your work experience and your home experience or your social interaction experience. You are happy wherever you are. So
Right.
automatically you find a balance. You work when you have to work. You relax when you need to relax. You party when you have to party. And you will spend time with the family when you have to spend time with the family. There is an automatic balance because there is no strong desire taking you in any one direction. Whereas when you're obsessed about making money, a businessman, then he tends to become a workaholic, works more because that is where his focus is. And he neglects his family, neglects his social interactions. Or there are people who are too attached to the family, they neglect their work. But when you
Yeah.
have a balance in your mind, you don't
Yeah.
have a particular attachment for anything, you're objective. You understand that you have different roles to play and you play every role to the best of your ability. When that role is over, you move to the next role and you enjoy that equally.
So am I right in saying that any kind of dissatisfaction in work or a lifestyle is our own
Creation.
responsibility?
Yes, absolutely.
So we need to learn to balance as we go along.
Yes.
Otherwise, we are the one who is, holding responsible, and we are causing difficulty for our loved ones as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's with the more details when you are in Leicester. I'll be joining all your sessions definitely from
Thank
start
you.
to finish. That's 100%. I decided to come back in time. I'm actually traveling during that period, but I'll be coming back to this
Thank
soon.
you.
Um, how we can expand our vision at the moment? The it's People are so. I would not point finger at anybody, but there's a lot of short thinking, narrow-mindedness, negativity. You just don't even uh, uh, think about it. Negativity is there. So how we can expand our vision to think big and positive?
You see, you fall back on our culture. The Indian culture is the only culture which is based on the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The universe is one family. When we pray, our prayers say, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. Sarve means everybody, not just my family, not just my community, not just my religion, not just my nation, but everyone. So, inherent in the Indian culture is this broadness of vision, universal vision. How does this come? Because you understand that when you see differences, see the Indian subcontinent is like that. You go, I live in Mumbai. I go from Mumbai to Kolkata, everything is different. The food is different, the language is different, the customs are different,
So
everything is different.
within Bharat, within India's
Yes,
culture,
there are
everything different.
differences. Look at Gujarat, one state. You move 100 kilometers, you go from Ahmedabad to Bhavnagar, everything changes. The food changes, the language changes a little bit. You go to Surat, it's different. But there is an underlying understanding that we are all one, because it is our culture that unites us. It is our philosophy, Vedanta, that unites all of us. So inherently, we have the ability to expand our vision. Unlike other societies where they have to make an effort. So we have to go back and say, yes, we see differences. These differences are superficial, but deep down, we are all human beings. We have the same grief. We have the same happiness. We share the same feelings. So automatically we reach out to human beings. And then when you feel one with someone, there is no negativity. Let's say we feel one with our children. We know, every mother knows that the child has faults, but she doesn't look at the faults. She doesn't look at the child negatively because she has love in her heart for the child. Now, if this love you were to expand, spread to everyone, all negativity will go and we will help each other to overcome our faults and rise to the highest level. So we must make an effort to remove negativity from our minds. And then with a loving mind, you create a loving world.
Sure. So having a loving mind basically will create a loving world. Yeah.
To the extent that others are negative towards us, we must develop the intellect to learn to deal with it with strength, fortitude, and not become weak and passive.
Right.
Krishna's message to Arjuna was like that. He said, kill them if you have to, but with love, not with hatred.
So why there is a lot of things in Bhagavad which always wonder that we have Lord Krishna's presence there, and all the majority of them was like Dev Yoni, Jesse powers, and all this. So still this big thing happened. What's the reason? Could we? I mean, what that reflects on the Jay.
Goodness and evil always coexist in the world. You will never find an age, an era in which only goodness is there and no evil is there. Nor do you come across a time when there is only evil and no goodness. So the role of spiritually evolved people or good people in life is to just restore the balance towards the good. That's all that you can do. Right. So the entire Mahabharata war is an external depiction of an internal phenomenon. So in ourselves, in us, there are negative and positive tendencies. The negative always outnumber the positive. There were only 5 Pandavas, there were 100 Kauravas. So the good qualities are always less. But if the good qualities surrender to the higher, Atman, the Godhood in us, represented by Krishna, then you can overcome the negative tendencies and achieve victory over yourself. That is the meaning behind the Mahabharata war.
Right.
So you have to take that story and learn the internal message from it and follow the teachings.
Yeah, but the thing is, it still continued in human nature.
Yes. So externally, there will be evil forces, which is why you need to become what is known as assertively good. It is not enough just to be good. You must also develop the intellect, the capacity to think, to reason, to manipulate. Just as they are manipulating, you need to manipulate, but for the good. Now, what is happening in the world is that there are very few good people. But these
Yeah.
good few people have not developed their intellect. And there are evil people who have sharp intellects. So they can maneuver, manipulate, and gain victory over the good, which is ridiculous. So
Mm.
the good people don't need to give up their goodness. They just need to develop the sharpness of thinking with which they can conquer evil.
Yeah. Coming to this goodness or between bad people or bad, but I was still wondering, uh, I always been wondering as well, the people on a higher end or supposed to be, say, intellect, where, ज़्यादा समझदार लोग जिनको, well, people think that they are educated and higher end, and they make decisions and things, and, and can we, can our emotions जो है, वो decision making में calculate हो सकते हैं, because there's always says कि उसने कह दिया तो हमने मान लिया, चलो आगे बढ़ो, let's agree, अनेकांतवाद में आके, but sometimes those decisions are not practical.
Yes.
So why should be ultimate decisions making be by the intellect, and can we consider emotions in our own decisions? Can it be considered?
Yes. See, the mind by its very nature does not have the capacity to analyze, discriminate, and arrive at a reasonable logical conclusion. The mind just feels. The mind is the abode of feelings, emotions, likes and dislikes, loves and hates. It is the intellect which has the capacity to discriminate, reason, analyze, and arrive at a decision. So, the ideal situation is that the mind must feel love, have positive emotions, and the intellect must take these emotions into consideration and direct the mind properly so that you don't get into sticky, awkward situations.
Okay.
But what happens with us is, if either we don't have emotions and we only operate with the intellect, then you become dry, you're not human. Or you become a sentimental, emotional fool who gets taken for a
Hesitation.
ride by people.
Yeah.
So the right balance is where the heart must feel, but the head must think clearly.
Right. Well, बंधन हो रहा है. How do we know that our decisions are right? दिल की सुने, दिमाग की सुने, या विवेक?
So if you ask yourself the question, why did I decide? For instance, why did I get married? If you say, because I fell in love, I did not think, then that is clearly an emotional decision. Why did I take to a particular vocation? If you have thought about it and said that, yes, I liked it, I had a passion for it, and I also thought that that was the best thing for me to do, that is the best scenario. Where both your mind, दिल और दिमाग दोनों एक ही direction में ले जा रहे.
Yeah. But that, you reckon that is the right thing? दिल and
Yes.
दिमाग taking in the right direction?
Yes.
Oh.
Both
Okay.
should. So your intellect approves of what the mind feels, and the mind goes along with what the intellect decides.
Okay. So Vivek, wisdom,
Yes.
does it
That
have any
is
power, anything to play in this दिल और दिमाग के जद्दोजहद में?
absolutely, because what you call as Vivek or wisdom is your conscience. Your
Yeah.
conscience is the supremost. You cannot
Right.
violate your conscience because then you're committing sin. So
Sure. Okay.
that's why Shakespeare said, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man.
Sometimes when we take time over making a decision, we may run a risk. This happens quite often that our opportunity can be slipped out from our hands. Maybe, completely it can go out of our hands. How we come to these terms, like, somebody had a fall by, seeing there was a ditch and still try to cross. And after falling, say, oops, there was a ditch, you know, knowingly. So now we take a risk. Uh, we take decision, but we take time, and which become risky, and we lose the opportunity.
Yes. See, what happens is, if your intellect is sharp, is developed, then you are able to take decisions instantaneously, quick decisions. And that is the hallmark of a leader, of an evolved person, an expert in that field. It's like a doctor. An experienced doctor sees a patient and he knows instantly what is wrong with the patient. So that is the development of the intellect. But if you haven't developed the intellect, then you are indecisive. You say, maybe this is okay, maybe that is okay. And in the bargain, you lose the whole thing. So it highlights the importance of development of the intellect. And that is done through the study of the Bhagavad Gita. It's done by original thinking, questioning, inquiring. This thinking has become a rare commodity these days because we follow the herd instinct. What others are doing, we do. We follow peer pressure. We don't think for ourselves. The moment you start thinking, your intellect starts developing and you become a strong person. You take quick decisions.
They always you been calm like this, where we are experiencing. Where this inspiration come from? It could be personal question, but I'm curious. My apology.
No. See, what happens is, I think I was born with a distinct interest in spirituality, because even at a very young age, I independently used to seek spiritual avenues. And then I was fortunate enough to have the exposure to spirituality within the family and outside. And the most important thing is that you need to make an effort to arrive at that peace. And which means struggling with yourself, struggling with your aspirations, your desires, your whatever it is. And then you gain victory over yourself. And you understand that everything in the world is what it is. You can't change anybody outside. The only person in the world you can change is yourself. So you embark on this program of self-development, self-management, and it pays rich dividend.
So these synopsis will be here in your trip in the UK for...
Yes.
Wonderful. I will look in this today's world, when we go through, there's a lot of struggle is in the way. When things don't go our way, we get panic. Yeah. And we try to make a U-turn and say, okay, I wish I didn't do that, or try to find the way back. Why is this? And how important is it we find to resolve and we continue on our path? Now, I'm in a situation where I made a decision. I went halfway through then start regretting it. Oh, I wish I didn't do it. So
Yes. So in the beginning, first of all, before you embark on anything, you must invest thinking. You must think, is this what I want to achieve? Is it possible for me to achieve? Do I have the resources to achieve it? And you must also take into consideration possible obstacles that may come in the way, so that you are well prepared. And you must have a passion for obtaining that goal. That goal must be an unselfish one, something that inspires you, where you don't give up easily. Now, when you on the way, when you meet with obstacles and challenges, there are various ways of dealing with these challenges. See, like a river is hell bent on reaching the ocean, and it reaches the ocean. So what it does is, when a huge boulder comes along, it goes around that boulder. When a small stone comes in its way, it goes over it and reduces that stone to sand. So the same method we should follow. If a big challenge comes our way where you're not able to deal with it, you go around it. You find an alternative pathway around it.
as you go
And,
along.
yes. And a small challenge comes, you crush it by your sheer determination and self-effort. But the end you will reach, just as every river reaches the ocean. That
Right.
determination that I will not give up and I will reach the goal is something that is wonderful.
Right.
Then
Never give up.
nature, never give up. Then nature
Right.
cooperates with you.
So I hope I'm right in saying that defeat is not when you have a fall or obstacles comes in. Defeat is when you refuse to get up.
Absolutely. Refuse to get down.
You need to carry, okay. Yeah,
Yes.
concentrate on it. And once you make a start, make sure you finish it.
Yeah.
That's beauty. What's the impact of our thoughts? विचारों को रोकना जरूरी, विचारों को चलते रहना जरूरी. इस पर मैंने कई आर्टिकल मैंने खुद भी किए, but I was curious to find out for person like yourself, what is the impact of our thoughts in our life? How we can, do we need thoughts to let them keep coming, or shall we say, okay, refine them, or what's your
Yes.
opinion?
See, it is your thoughts that make you. The law is, as you think, so you become. You think
As you
noble, as you think,
think,
so you
so you
become.
become. Wow.
So if you think noble thoughts, you will become a noble person. You think petty thoughts, you'll become a petty person. You think of business, you will become a business person. So not only do you become, but you create the environment in which you are. So if there is anything in the environment you don't like, you can't complain because you have created it. Your mind has created it. What must you do? You can't change the environment directly. Change your thoughts, and the environment miraculously changes. So, for instance, let an overweight person start thinking thin, fit. Then the thoughts will translate into action accordingly. And the person will become slim and trim and exercise and, things like that. And he or she will hang out with like-minded people. So that is a clear indication of what your thoughts are. And also, if you want to achieve something, you must first change your thoughts. then you will achieve the goal.
Yeah, if you are thinking that I'm going to lose the battle before even you go into the battleground, then there's no point going into a battleground if you're thinking that way.
Yes.
So, right. Very such a easy way, Nidhi, you are explaining things कि हम जैसे लोगों के माइंड में भी आ जाता है कि yes, we never thought about कि we hear things कि दृष्टि बदलो सृष्टि बदलेगी, but how can we change दृष्टि? You just explained. You think positive, thoughts को control करो, then try to move forward. You'll get where you want to get.
Yes.
It's such an easy thing. Whatever you think, that's what you become.
Yes.
You want to be a winner, you'll become a winner.
Absolutely.
You want to, wonderful. Coming to our social things, like, बहुत कुछ आ रहा है मन में, but I want to leave things behind also for people to follow you on your, media, your website, and wherever your talks are going on. But all the questions, ये तो अथाह सागर है, इसमें इंसान का मन कभी रुकता नहीं है पूछने में. So यहाँ पर यूके में early days when we were here, or now we are here, it's a big difference now. Big difference. But coming to the point, my question is, by not knowing people, you meet someone and person becomes just nasty, or something where could be for any reason. How you feel that we should navigate the system before aggravating something further?
Let's take the example of an animal lover. An animal lover loves all animals equally, but his expression of his love is very different. He has the luxury of picking up a kitten or a pup and showering that pup with his love and affection. He may love a tiger as much as he loves the kitten, but he cannot afford to express it in the same way because of the nature of the tiger. He can't go to the tiger and say, "Hey, tiger, I love you, give me a hug." The tiger will have him for breakfast. Yeah. So,
will definitely hug.
So, you must feel one with everyone, but you must assess the nature of the person that you're dealing with and change your behavior accordingly. Then you will never face a negative situation in life. Like Krishna had to battle with his own uncle when he was a child. Nobody knew what was happening. Only Krishna had no one to protect him. He had to protect himself.
Right.
But he never had hatred towards any being. Because you understand, everyone has their own nature. Everyone has their own. Some people are lucky that they have a good nature. Some people are unfortunate that they have a bad nature. And you have to deal with all kinds of people. But when you deal with them, you are never hateful because you understand their nature functions and they are helpless. But you make sure that that person's nature does not affect you. So this is the art of dealing with people that the Bhagavad Gita teaches us.
So in the older days, whatever has been written is getting implemented today and is getting effect same way what it was affecting at that time. Although the population could be multiplied, could be 7.7 billion people in the world, we can't think everybody should think the way I'm thinking. But therefore, there is a way where you can assess a person before you start.
Yes. Also, the other
getting
thing
hurt.
is, yeah.
Jay?
the other thing is that if you see in a school there is a bully, who will the bully harass? A weak person. So when you look at yourself and you say other people are harassing me, why? Because I'm weak. I need to become strong. And the moment you become strong, the bully will leave you alone and go to another weak person. No? So we of Indian origin across the world, we need to fall back on our inner strength, our culture, our heritage, which gives us this strength. And when you become strong, the world will not mess with you.
Now, insecurity in relationship, this is also social effect. Relation, people get married, next day they start hating each other, or suddenly families getting well along with, and something happens and they break apart, or even brothers, father and son, or husband and wife, 30, 40 year, in the relation. So how do we feel when a relation doesn't work out as uh, we hope for, and how we can prevent for this thing to happen?
See, all this is happening because of increase in selfishness. Both parties are selfish, therefore this happens. So what we need to do is become more unselfish, become more focused, develop the intellect, and work for a higher cause. When you do that, automatically you will have wonderful relationships. You will be committed to that person. You won't just say that when things are convenient, I'm with you. When things start getting inconvenient, I will leave you. That is not the kind of thing. A human being is human because we have the capacity to commit ourselves in a relationship and stay with it, whatever happens. So that is the root cause. And how to solve it is to become more unselfish by gaining this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, but others' hopes are very high. Expectation is very high.
Yes. See, it is not what others expect of you that matters. It is what you are by yourself that matters. And then when you have the right balance, you have love in your heart, you are objective, you have the capacity to think and determine how you will act in life, you will have no problems. And you will create harmony in society.
So many things to learn. It's ongoing issues essay where the relationship takes up to that end where you keep on trying and trying and trying, but it doesn't work. So how you learn to live with? Is there any golden rule according to Bhagavad or your thoughts? Is there any quotation can be given from Bhagavad to our listeners today?
Yes. Swami Ramatirtha, who lived in 1902, who lectured in 1902 in America, said, if you're not happy as you are, where you are, you will never be happy. So learn to be happy wherever you are, whatever be the circumstances. Because happiness is not dependent on the world. Happiness does not lie in the world. Happiness lies within. So if all of us take this as a challenge and say, I will learn to be happy as I am, life will change for you. So this is the parting thoughts that we have for today. But as you have said that I will be in London, Birmingham and Leicester in June. And the itinerary is put up on our website, vedantavision.org. So I extend this invitation to everyone, and I'm very happy that you will
definitely.
be.
I know the time is very important at last minute as you're very busy and we are fortunate we managed to, associate. And I'm thankful to your assistant Vaishali ji, who coordinated wonderfully. Finally, is there any message for our listeners and for
Yes.
Divyalaya especially?
We are fortunate to belong to a culture that has a rich heritage, rich base of wisdom that is unique only to India. So fall back on it, take advantage of it, live, become living ambassadors of this knowledge, and share it with the country of your adoption. Share it with the entire world. Thank you.
Jain ji. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. This is the wonderful golden moments with Jaya Row ji, who is visiting UK, and she got such a busy schedule, just got back from America, and 1 month break in India. After that, she's traveling back to UK on the heavy demand. After 4 years, it's going to happen. So we are fortunate to have her in Leicester, Birmingham, and other places. I'm thankful with the talk, what we learned basically, to remain calm, be a good thinker, be a good person, learn to control your विचार. विचार है तो विकास है. अगर अच्छे विचार नहीं होंगे तो विकास कैसे हो पाएगा? And we learn how to motivate yourself. You can motivate yourself. This is the kit is within yourself basically, and the best path is if you recite Bhagavad, you will have all the answers back. Thank you very much once again. अगले हफ्ते फिर सेम प्लेस सेम टाइम नेक्स्ट वेडनेसडे मुलाकात होगी. धन्यवाद. नमस्कार.
Namaskar.